gameplay that we all know Border 4. Maybe this is going to be a big separator, and Scarz can play 97% to 3. That is god damn. Anyways, gentlemen, our map is loading up, so I'm going to leave you to it. Our final matchup of the day, Fathers Back versus Scarz. Marta, Pengu, take it away.
Thank you, Milosh. And a chance to see a chaotic border. I'm really praying for a chaotic game. I just love seeing Japan get into it, do those rushes, play a map like Border. We often get treated to some really crazy games on this map when we see them play. Scarz with a Castle Lion ban. They clearly know something we don't. Now, Fathers Back have played this map a couple of times recently, and for the most part, they've looked pretty solid on it, but they do have a couple of red flagged losses as well. Scarz, 93 or 97% favored according to the community. This would be one of the biggest upsets if Fathers Back is able to take them down here.
I actually really like the castle ban here, and it's no secret that castle ban on Border makes a ton of sense. I mean, pretty much every single team in the world across all the different regions will play this operator on 2 of the 3 super playable bomb sites, that being, of course, ventilation downstairs and archives tellers too, or bathroom tellers, whatever. You can play that, go upstairs, fortify, shut down some of those angles, beavers, archives window, office window, whatever, and just make yourself kind of more boxed in, and you shape the map into the shape that you would like to see as a defender. Now, Scarz, if you want to play aggressive and get more access points in throughout the map, you ban the castle. Now, you're going to be met with a bunch of soft walls, a few reinforced walls, and you can create all these long lines of sights and more pressure basically from outside the building, instantly applying pressure onto Father's Back and all those playable positions. So, I really am a big fan of this. Fathers Back themselves also banning the Asami is not going to make this defense any easier for themselves. And I think it's also why they're opting for all these trap-oriented operators, the Elysian, the Melusi, and the Ella, because they don't have util to hide behind. So now they have to try and apply this negative effect onto the individual players of Scarz instead as like a plan B.
Oh, I like that. Banshee going outside in the
Capital
prep phase.
going out?
Was the Capital gone out early to counter the Banshee going down? That is so unusual.
But it's a smoke, not a fire that he shot. So you see, maybe it's an anti-spawn peek. I don't even know what that is.
That is weird. Yeah, I reckon he thought that Melusi was spawn peeking and it was just anti-spawn peek. That is so unusual. I don't think I've ever seen that.
They might go fast here, by the way. They got Archives balcony, sandwich window, coming up middle, going in through the door. They have Osa for this, so they can go up with Osa, pop the door with the shield, pop the yellow mine. They have downstairs control, yeah. They can totally go for a plant here in 5 seconds time.
Oh, opening kill for Fish. Tayo here teetering on the edge of this Osa shield. He baits out a C4. Fish finds a second kill. Poor Harasan going down without a fight. Fathers Back are dropping like flies. Candy on the ground and taken out. Number 2. Solid player, so experienced. He's looking for a flank downstairs. He does find Fish but the plant is down, and Scarz are hungry to finish this one off. Number 2 does find another kill, and with X finding that as well, it does come much closer now, threatening the jump out, but he's low HP. He shoots open the barricade. But unfortunately, this Osa shield makes it almost impossible to make this work, even if it weren't for the player on the window. But indeed, it is Nina to finish it off. Best player in the league, and a very solid Archives attack in the opening round.
I think that first round is going to show the story of the Border that is to come here in the next following 30+ minutes, because that was exactly how easy a round can be in Border if you have a full-on understanding of what you need to take control of and what the enemy might be neglecting on their own side. They didn't have the Archives hatch opened up in towards the bomb side, so they couldn't really apply any pressure towards Buck downstairs. So Buck rips the floor open, Osa walks in, puts down the first shield, literally backs away from that position, knowing the C4 is going to come flying. He destroys the first Osa shield, walks in, puts down the second, and plants. There was nothing that Fathers Back could really do outside of what they tried to stop it, and this here is my big concern. They go back to the exact same bomb site, with the same lineup, more or less. They have a Warden. I don't believe that was the last one if I recall correctly, so they haven't made any really big changes. This could be the exact same round happening again, but Scarz, they're too good to repeat the exact same attack, but look at their other lineup. Amaru, Glass, Osa. They're doing a similar thing. These kind of one-off pocket strats, I like to call them. They're in your pocket, you use them one time, and then it's really out there. Then you can't do it again. But they can do a similar thing, but with a small twist to it. That's the Glass and the Amaro. The Osa is here, they can go Armory, they can go Archives. They can also try and bait out the Archives default plant. Then Armory jumps in the sandwich window where Glass is going right now, for example, and just plant there instead. So Scarz have options, but we know that regardless of what they choose, it's gonna be a fast one.
So we'd love to see out of Scarz establishing their dominance. Like you said, similar strategy from a macro perspective, but different tactics within it. The Glaz, the Amaru. Can't wait to see exactly the plan here. Of course, there are C4s waiting to be met. The Elamine concusses for a brief moment. Over it goes, and EMP potentially has stilted out those C4s. There's no C4 going over yet. Candy sends one over. But it does get a C4 down onto Tayo. This is actually very winnable now for Father's Back with a 2-player advantage. However, in the posts, Rek and Nina do have the positions to hold this. It will come down to some really solid jump outs to try and counter this position. Nina knows not to overpeak this. All he has to do is waste out another 20-ish seconds. Rek hiding, holding his position, finds one, swung by another. Double for Rek, but Nina's gone down. All up to Rek now, one of the best players in the region. It is a 1v2, it is all up to the cover of V-Bort, and he does so perfectly. Very well done, and Father's Back will just barely clinch that round. A very solid retake. It took a lot of bravery to go for those jump outs, and they made good on that promise.
1 second, 1.5 maybe, separates Father's Back from successfully counter-defusing and actually losing that round. They took as much time as they could afford before going for that final play. That's really well done for them because they set up their pieces as good as they could. 2 people jumping out to challenge the staircase player, and 2 people challenging the glass on the window. And if they win one of those 2 gunfights, they might actually be okay, and they were. Scarz did the exact same attack from the bigger perspective, with those small details like Amaru going in to distract, etc. The one big key difference is, because they went deep in towards the bomb site, actually looking to make a distraction play, they lost a lot of bodies in the process of planting. And if Warden had been a little bit quicker, I think, he actually could have C4'd the planter before the bomb even goes down, further securing the round for Father's Back. So, I do think Scarz opted for a too similar attack. I feel like going for the exact same plant position or the exact same post-plant positions makes it a bit too predictable, but it still goes to show the fact that it was that close in the round, Scarz are still, I would argue, in more or less full control.
They still have that Ying, though, that Dokkaebi, these execute heavy operators, the Grim as well. But for now, as the bomb site is down in Tellers, there's a lot of map to take. X goes down very early to Nina. I think that was just from the Tellers window. You can't be losing players to that so early in the round.
It's fine. They got V-Board on the Boss G vigil. That's going to save this round. Mark my words. In a gunfight right now, took a little bit of damage. Being escorted by Candy right now. Saving the president of the Boss G player. But look at this. If you run out the store, you might get a free pick. Candy has no idea, but it's right there. Oh, he knows now. That is so free. And Scarz are kind of falling apart right now in this early stage of this 3rd round.
Yeah, it's very weird from Scarz. A lot of players on drones in very exposed positions. Unfortunately, the Boss G doesn't save V-Bort as he goes down from Rek. On this Ash R4C, they do have to get that diffuser back. Oh, it was right in the middle of square that that defender died. And Nina just exposes Candy. I don't know what he's doing in that long hallway. Advantage was in Father's Back favor, but now they over-aggress. And they have been shut down. Now time to consolidate for Scarz. A 3 versus 1. Virtually unlosable. Up against Harasan. DMR is a great weapon to clutch with, but yeah, can't help but think back to the pre-show when we talked a little bit about Harasan. Now he's got to step up.
Yes, I like this one. Scarz, they're kind of bleeding him out right now, just droning, holding angles, waiting, because he has to make all the first moves. He has no idea where Scarz are actually playing from.
Might be good for one. Mezzanine. The timing was so unlucky.
Uh-oh.
If he exposes his position, he's a dead man. He's in so many crossfires. He sees one, holds the trigger discipline, but misses the crucial bullets, and Rek will quickly dispatch him. A great round for Scarz. Reading father's back to perfection.
I am wondering, though, how much Scarz are trying to save by playing this matchup, because there's always that big question when a quote-unquote top league team plays like the bottom of the barrel. You kind of said it too, like playing border and map where you can play a bit more loose and kind of do whatever and play around your gunfights and your teamwork, not showing stats like you would on Bang or Clubhouse, for example. But even here playing border, Scarz, there is a world where they're actually holding back their quote-unquote proper way of playing the map in their own mind. Just kind of playing it off the rip, kind of like a ranked style or a community tournament, for example, where you play off the flow of each other. You just look what enemies doing and go, guys, what do you want to do this round to attack this? Because that previous round didn't look very organized or structured from Scarz, and in the early stages, they were all over the map individually with no trading and no bigger plan in motion. But then, of course, in the mid-late round, they just find their picks, and it kind of just works in their favor.
Border's one of those maps as well where it's so small that the attackers can relocate constantly. So if you lose a player, like for example, like I think it was Rek found a kill upstairs on the Ash from the balcony. The defense can't then assume, okay, well, that attacker is ages away, we don't have to worry about him anymore, because he can quickly rotate down, drop outside, and then go over to Passport, which is in the end where he ended up pushing from. Makes it quite hard to read these teams sometimes when you're defending. Especially when you start dropping players like Border in a 4v5, in a 3v5, it's not a pretty sight.
You know, one of those snowball maps. You lose a player in defense, you lose a ton of map control, and you lose one of your possible crossfires that is so vital to you. We saw Scarz kind of right now thinking through it. Attack a repick phase here, going, what do we like to see right now? Yeah, the Muncie's not changed. Taeyu is still sticking it so far, and it's one of those rare games where Muncie actually survives the operator ban phase, but unironically, he only survived it because Blitz was banned instead. And I think it was Fresh on Twitter, or X, sorry, should I say these days, that made a thing like, I feel like Shield's right now in a very interesting position where you ban the Blitz, you get the Muncie and vice versa, so like Shield players are very, like, they're very strong to have in your team, but also it feels like it's completely redundant to even bother banning one, because a good shield player can always play the other. Sure, Monty is better in most scenarios, I would say, but a really skilled shield player can play Blitz almost as often as Monty and still make it work.
I'm just excited because we don't get to see shields played a lot. Not because no one wants to play them, but because they're constantly banned, as you said. I think this is our first Monty today. We've seen a little bit of Blitz, but the Monty in particular is just so good. How protected he can be. Number 2 is in an off angle, hoping that someone will expose. But Washoy opens the equation. Big player to take down in V-Bort. Yeah, I mean, this is a good take already. So close.
Little quick flick there of the wrist. Mind you, Monty did get a mini, or Shields rather, got a mini rework. If you hold the left mouse button, you can look left and right without turning your character itself, actually. Not a mechanic that's used very commonly by shield players. I don't do it myself either, just use the previous one. But look at Dina. He's found a massive gap with a Dugabi call. He's gonna hit the side here.
Good for a big pick onto number 2 in the middle of sight, and he immediately backs on out and looks for someone trying to refrag. He doesn't overcommit to his position. Candy is really trapped here. Harasan's found a shoddy kill, but is immediately traded, and Washoy is locked down the top floor, all up to Candy now. But Washoy is low HP. Doesn't have information on where these players are as they file down the metal stairs. He's just missed this rotation. But the swing comes out from Nina. I'm not sure if there was info or just a nice timed peek, but Scarz, yeah, there was info. There was a yellow ping as well. Of course, Scarz, an organized team, they always have drones set up for those late rounds, and they are looking very much in form.
I really like how Nina plays out that round, because I think it's easy to overcommit to a play. You feel like you can get it all done yourself. Getting that one pick onto Valkyrie and just skipping right out of the bomb side to like keep the pressure up. Because if Nina dies, all the pressure that he's established for himself and his team goes away. Oh, it's a guy in B, guys. Oh, he's dead now. Don't worry about it. But it's like, oh, there was a guy in B, but we can't see him. We don't know where he is anymore. And the fact that he killed the Valkyrie during the Dugabi phone call, he knew nobody could see him. But shortly after he got the kill, the Dugabi phone call would have ended, and then those dead players could be on the cameras, and if there was one on the side, it would have been spotted out, yellow pinged, and possibly, you know, just killed basically from the other side player. So, Huge small mini play there, not overstepping. Scarz, very early on, continued to pick up the pace and get those early opening kills. They did the Osa play, they tried Glass and Amaru, then they just showed us a Munty. Now they're showing us a fuse from Nina. The only person not to change with the attacker repick right now. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Disappointing.
Come on. There's TSM when they won SI. They had this thing where they would pick, I think it was Fuse and Glass every single other attack. And the reason why they did it was because you pick the operators that you're never gonna play basically, so that you can freely attack or repick. Because if I'm on Sledge, but then we end up changing the strat and you need to play Sledge, I had to go away from Sledge for you to pick Sledge, and then I can pick what I want to play, right? So there are sometimes I find players who will pick these really unorthodox operators in the beginning, just to enable that shuffling of the attacker repick without having to, sorry, can you change your operator because that's what I'm gonna play now? Might be that kind of vibe. Either way. Nina's on Flores, they got the Ying, it could be Amaru. They can still go fast. Amaru downstairs, of course, makes sense. You wanna look for a hatch to go up with that shotgun in hand. And Delas and Dokubi to disrupt about the bomb site defenders. And then a Brava and a Flores, actually, I guess for intel or counter intel near the site itself.
Yeah, then these drone operators have done a great job of countering all the setups. We've seen how much the Roteros have paid in value. Here comes the Amaru up the hatch. The timing. Oh, he gets him! So good. Almost the second one. Hasn't had time to reload, but it's fine because Nina is there as well. Number 2 does find something back for Fathers, but they need so much more than that. Still a numbers advantage for Scarz. And this attack is looking very deadly. The defenders have been forced back into Office, into Archives, and Armory. Cornered back into the bomb site as Scarz have lapped up this map control with ease.
A bit of a posting thing there. Howard-san walking past the Amaru, having no idea that she came up the hatch when they should have known because your teammate died right next to it. But hey, Scarz in the 4v2 now. One double call left in pocket as well, can pop it. Follows back, they have to lash out Ikis and Candy. They have to aggress and try and get back this numbers advantage.
X wins the fight. He probably shouldn't have, but he does get traded. And it leaves it all up to Candy now. With his phone ringing, he gets swung, and the ego from Nina doesn't even wait for his teammates. He knows he's just good enough to win that fight regardless. And Scarz continue their dominating form on border.
The question is, in the beginning of this, how many rounds can Fallospec take before things just look like it's a little bit ogre? Well, they got the one round, and it was actually a really good round victory from them. They said retake in the second round when Scarz tried to go for that Archives door plant 2 times in a row. And since then, it's almost like Scarz, they felt a bit like, you know what, we shouldn't have lost that round, we can do better. Because they've only gotten stronger and stronger with time right now, looking more and more comfortable. Look at this. The first kill, that's a 50-50. Sometimes that should happen, sometimes it shouldn't. But the fact that Howardson and Ella sprints right past him, and then doesn't even turn around and dies with someone else right after, it's like, the communication from Father's back is not quite there. Or there's just maybe too much stress and chaos in the server, because that is the difficulty of playing Border. When you're up against like Dokubi Ying, when those Candelas start being popped out and the Dokubi call comes out as well, 5 players are just being like, there's a guy here, I'm being pushed, I need help, you know, whatever. You can't really hear exactly what's going on, and that's where your instincts have to kick in. If you were to compare Fallospec's players with Scarz, I think the instincts on one side is going to be a lot better than the other.
And what's more, Father's back are clearly rattled. Like, they're getting destroyed by the best team in the region. It's hard to keep your composure, and that's why I was so impressed. They did it in round 2 with that retake after the Archives rush, as you said. But every single round, Scarz have found the opening kill. And every round, it's been in the first minutes, except for that last round, which was the first minute and 8 seconds, which is essentially the same thing. This is a very fast game. Scarz are setting the pace with these aggressive attacks. They're making sure that these engagements are being forced early in the round. They have so many set pieces in mind. Amaru's, Glaz, Monty. So many ideas. They are incessant in bringing them to the table, round after round.
I think it's a great way to play a game that might be a little bit low stakes for you. You're expanding upon your strategy and basically practicing your coordination with those setups live in an actual Pro League setting, which is the best place to practice when the stakes are actually high compared to a regular scrim where no one really quite cares about the actual outcome of it. But look at this. This is so free.
Oh,
Smoke,
man.
turn around, plant, no one can stop him.
There's no way to get third on this either. The smoke is out. The coverage is there. Monty can sit safely on the diffuser. Number 2 has to desperately make his way back. That's a long angle to try and contest with the SMG-12. And amidst the chaos, there's quite a bit of bloodshed upstairs. And still, these 2 players from Fathers back down below. Good coverage from Nina up on the mezzanine. He needs to be fought now by number 2. Nice shots with the SMG-12. But he still has to fight this Monty. And he realistically has no way to do so. There are no C4s, no impact, nothing to work with, and there's no time either. Fishlight can sit here safely outside, doesn't even have to push. He can rattle out bullets from that LMG, and eventually the kill will be collected. Scarz are dominant. They will not take prisoners here. Father's back. They look completely obliterated.
They do. I mean, I would even argue that I don't think they had the fully correct site set up either. There are no self-destruction going on the Teller's bomb site wall. When Monty walks into that rotate, you'd expect to see the wall towards Customs and Blue Hallway being opened up a little bit at least to deny that exact planting position, because that didn't have to be a Monty planting. That could have been any operator because there was a lack of self-destruction. So, Thanos back maybe forgetting to do it or had a different, strat in mind that, oh, they're not going to go for this kind of plant. We don't need to open up that wall. But the thing is, Scarz have been so good at visualizing what the bomb site looks like and also where it's weak from. They know that, hey, this is so free east stairs, down the staircase you go, Monty walks on in, the rotate is made for you basically, and that's it. And then what does Falasback do in response? They are yellow pinging with the warden on site saying they're planting. And they can't do anything about it. They know where the plant is going down. They know exactly who is planting, but they can't stop it. There's not the right operators for it or the right player positions, so they just don't really have a fighting chance in that round the second that plant gets attempted to go down.
Scarz are going to play aggressively here. This is so cheeky. I really hope this finds something. Doesn't look like the player is going to move past that line of sight. Like you said before, I think Scarz deciding to play this aggressive playstyle, try all these fancy set pieces in a real stakes environment, it's such a good idea. It's such a nice way to test, like, okay, we're not just going to be doing these things in scrims. This is proper experience. We can test out our confidence. And I really like that. I also quite like that we're seeing a real treat here. Farthest back bringing 2 shields to the table. And with the Blitz band out, it's actually the Monty and the Fuse.
I actually do like this myself as well. It's some teams, I think it was actually it was Felix or Dam Wong in Korea for stage 1. They would play Fuse Monty or Fuse Blitz on Consulate to great effect with demos. Look at this. The shields come in. What are you gonna do? Ah!
Oh my god, this is utterly terrifying. Fishlike still finds one. Can they find the second kill as well? The Monty kept at bay for another moment. Oh my god, what a weird round. What a weird fight. There is 1 kill at least found by the attack as Tayo went down. But, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I would be shitting myself if I was in that position. Somehow they still found 2 kills out of the situation. Father's back need to now pick up the pieces. They've got the control they wanted and in reasonable time.
It was a good response from Scarz, just assisting and supporting the security player to actually get out of there from Fishlike. Now, sadly, Ying was in the archives window balcony while this happened. That's what that second kill occurred. There's Fuse and security, Ying on the balcony, very much on his lonesome. And that just means that they don't have that execute operator of Ying anymore. So now Monty has to work overtime, has to get the intel for his teammates, but then the teammates have to land their shots perfectly. Otherwise, you're going to be locked out of this one as well.
This is a really good position, though, from the attack. All 3 of them can work together. Pinch these players in archives. Spotted the player at metal. No, the timing!
No.
The Monty! Monty blocked the bullets! It's all up to X now in a 1v2. And he won't last. Washai can clean him up. Beautiful from Scarz again. Doesn't matter what you throw at them. Fuse, Monty, anything, they are ready to receive. And they have barreled their way towards match point.
Oh man, I mean, this is a classic chaotic border game, and I just love the fact that Father's back also buying into that idea and trying out these funky strats, because one of the first things we spoke about was, okay, you're only gonna get a couple rounds, whatever, But what can you learn from this if you are Father's back? Well, if they watch back this VOD of their own gameplay and they do some theory on this, I think they can actually learn a lot of things right now from what's going wrong, and what better team to learn against than the best in the league of Scarz. Actually, Scarz are gonna try their own learning right now. They're gonna play the 4th bomb side of Customs, which sees almost no play in any domestic leagues, and same story for international play. This is a really rare one to find, usually only being played against teams that you just think that you're that much better than, or against teams that you think have no experience attacking against it, because, yes, it's a weak side statistically, but if you never attack this in scrims, in practice, how are you supposed to know how to attack it in an actual pro league game when it's even more difficult?
And what's funny is one of the reasons why this bomb site is so attacker favored is because of the slew of hard breach opportunities, like detention and passport, and yet we only have one hard breacher on the attacking lineup.
Uh-oh. Of course, you, on an armory attack, you take security. On a ventilation attack, you often take security. On a Tiller's attack, you also usually take security. The point is, you're very good as an attacking team to take security control. If you do it right now in Customs defense, you can see the entire both bomb sites from above with soft destruction and hatch openings. So you just do step 1 of a regular round, you basically accomplish most of step 2 and step 3, the mid-round, late-round, bomb site setup and execute. So that's the other reason why, because you combine the hard destruction with security control, and all of a sudden this bomb site doesn't exist anymore, at least not as a defender, it's purely in favor of the attackers.
That's why I think we got so much information gathering on the defense with the Valkyrie and the Maestro to put them in sight and make sure that there's always info on what's happening up there. But the Dokkaebi call rings out, and that does prevent the observation tools from being used. Impact makes things very awkward. Another impact and a spray through the floor. That is insane from Rek. He's looking for more, and he is taken down. At least something now for Father's back to work with, as they can also hack those cameras and get access to all the Valkyrie cameras and Evil Eyes. But still, Fishlike is holding on to that security position with the magnified scope on that slug shotgun. Washoe tries to contest, but falls back as well.
A plan is simple right now for Scarz. Fight back, if you take damage, get healed up by Dog, and go back into battle. Ping comes out. They know one player sense security for Fishlike, but so do they. They know about each other's location, who can win this gunfight, because Fishlike is holding on to security, but a great shot from V-Board. C4 goes up below, but it misses. So back to an even 3-on-3 here.
And much needed there for V-Board. He's done a good job now. He's taken control of security. He can move in. The Buck, though, is not in position to try and make good on the potential verticality of this site, and Washoe is keen to still contest. There's still information up there as well because of that Evil Eye. A flash goes out. Maybe a flank opportunity here for the Doc of Nina. 15 kills to his name. And he does!
Ooh.
Big kill for Nina. And with that, security control is now back. Flipped in the hands of the defense. And the attackers themselves must now defend the site. A 1v1 is calling for Candy. He has to clutch up big now. Gets that diffuser. Nina is heavy boots stomping on the roof above Candy as he looks for a safe place to plant. But there's information in abundance. Does he know where Nina is? Nina is waiting. Nina doesn't have to make a move, but there's a yellow ping. He must know that Nina is in that position. And so he goes for the plant. Nina, all he has to do is clutch. What's one more kill on the 16 he has found so far? The plant confirmed. The shotgun is not the right tool for that kind of an engagement. Nina ducks around the bomb. A couple of bullets peppered each direction, but Candy can't find the killing blow. A drop shot with the bailiff from Nina. The best player in Japan clutches up and hits 17 kills in 8 rounds. Scarz are a force to be reckoned with in Japan. And they have dismissed Father's back without a pure conversation.
Nina looks just unstoppable, and it's not because he can do this once in a while. It's the consistency of which he plays at this magnificent level, making so many accurate decisions. He went for that flank a while ago, obsession to the 90, and he held his discipline. He didn't shoot the bullet the first time he saw the opponent. He waited with trigger discipline for the right time to strike, to put himself in the best position possible. And in that 1v1, he is absolutely fearless and played it perfectly, waiting for the plant as well.
Unreal game from Scarz, and I'm sure Milish's got a few things to say about it. It was, in the end, quite a one-sided affair, which, to be fair, we did expect, Gassan.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I mean, look, there are bold decisions and bold predictions, and predicting Scarz was absolutely not one of them. And we got to see Nina absolutely clutching out the last round, but overall, complete destruction. He was there every single round. I'm assuming he'll be the MVP of this game, or else we will riot.
And that was a beautiful border, Nick, and we really got to see Scarz show us so many different things in just 8 rounds.
Yeah. That's what I'm very excited about, is that, yeah, they're good mechanically, they can hit the shots, we all know that, but strategically they're showing us a very fun and engaging, high-risk, high-reward border, which I think can really make or break the entertainment factor of a game like this that is so one-sided, because, yeah, it's 7-1, it's a completely one-sided fest here, but I actually really enjoyed it because of how many different things we saw in the first half. Scarz attacking with the rushes, with the funky operators, and just keeping things interesting.